Alright guys, welcome back to another Dayz tutorial. If you're running a Dayz server, or think about running a Dayz server, more specifically want to use the Valning map, I'm going to show you what you need to do to get this working on your server. Normally whenever you install like map mods onto your server, within the mod folder itself, there'll be like mission files that you would copy over to your server. In this case, with Valning, there isn't. You actually need to go onto their Discord and get the mission files. So I'm going to just show you the process, just show you how simple it pretty much really is, because for some people it may seem a little bit confusing, but it's really not. Now, the actual installation of the mod itself onto your server, I am not going to show you because it's exactly the same way that you would install any other mod. You know, make sure you add the mod to your start line, your command line, whatever you want to call it. If you need to do that, some like Game Host and Amiga Manager will do things like this automatically. But if you have to manually do this, then make sure you do that. You know, make sure you add the keys to your key folder, and of course, make sure you add the mod to your server. Just some basic things, but it's exactly the same as you would do with any other mod. So I'm not going to show you the process of the actual installation of the mod to your server, just because it's the same as any other mod. But we will show you the process of updating the files and everything, so when your server's running, you've got the newer versions possible that you can have. Right, so that said, go to your Steam, go to the workshop and search for Valning, and you want this first one here, Valning map, not Valning exp, Valning map. Make sure you subscribe to it, of course, like you would do with any other mod. Click on it and then scroll down just a little, and then there's a link here to their Discord. Join that, and that's all you're going to need. There's nothing else here that you're going to need. I mean, of course, have a read, have a look at some of the things here and stuff, but nothing else there that you really need. Just join the Discord. On the Discord, you basically want to, you probably get greeted with a welcome page. Just make sure you go down and find under Valning map the server files category here. Click on that, and you got these server files. Now, all these files, they're pretty much like 3 years old. You can see here 2020, 2020, 2020. It's all 2020. I believe there may be some further down that may be 2021, but there's nothing, you know, recent. Nothing within the last year anyway, not what I could see. But within these files, there are newer updated files of some of the older files, if that makes sense. So I'm not going to, some files we're not going to be touching, because they're older files and there's some newer versions. So if that makes sense. So if you see me, as I tell you which things you need to download, if you see me skip some, it's because they're older ones, and below there'll be some newer versions. Right, now download these wherever you want to. I've already gone ahead downloading to my desktop, and that's what I'm just going to say for you to download them to, is to your desktop, because it'll probably just make it easier. But again, put them to wherever it is easier for you. After the process, we're going to delete them anyway, because we're not going to need them. Right, so the things that you actually need to download and get. The things that you can just simply click and download is, I'll just say download, but there is a couple, or one I think in particular, which is this second link here, that we don't need to download the full thing. What you need to do is this second link, which will be your first download link, but it's the second link in Discord, is click on the link, take you to this the mega download site, click on map, double click on map should we say, and then we just want this area flags.map, so we can download this. You can right click on it, download it as a zip, and let that download. Mine should all be, oh actually, let me close it. I'm not going to download it because I've already got it. But download just to wherever you want to put it, save it to your desktop, wherever. Right, well, then we can close out that, and then we want to do the Dayz offline.valning.ra. So download this. We are going to need some sort of like zip program, something we can unzip RAR files and that. So do make sure you got something like WinZip, WinRAR, something along that sort of nature, so you can unzip things. If you haven't got one, I suggest to use BandyZip. It's really good, and if you use BandyZip, it means you can just directly follow along with what I'm doing. If you're not using BandyZip, then you've got to tend to work out how your zip program works and do it with that. Right, you are going to need the evoker.by key. this is the key for the map. I've not downloaded this because again, this is just the process of installing the mod onto your server. But do make sure this is where you get the key. So download this key and put this key into your server's key folder. Right. Now I'll keep going down. We don't need player spawn points. This one, don't need that. Don't need this territory types. Don't need this area flag XML. Don't need this territory types. But we are going to need this CFG event spawn. So click on the download arrow, download that. We do not need this player spawn points. Scroll down a little bit more. There's also a tutorial here if you want to watch that. Bear in mind this is quite an old tutorial, but you can watch that if you want to. Right. Valning 2.0 server files. Click on this link and download this. Now, again, there's only a couple of things in here that we need, but there's no option from what I can see to download specific files. So just go ahead and click on the green download link there too and download that. If you are using vehicle, if you're having vehicles spawn on your server, there is a V3S event spawn file here. Go ahead and download that if you want to. I don't use vehicle spawns on my server, so I'm going to skip this. If you're someone that does want vehicle spawns on your server, and in particular it's V3S, and you're not quite sure what to do with this, of course, come and speak to me on Discord, and I can actually show you what to do with this. It only takes like 5 minutes, but I can show you what you need to do with this file, if that's the case. But for the purpose of the video, I'm skipping this because I'm not using event spawns. But yeah, but if you do want that, just add it into your event spawn file. Right, next off we want this one. So zombies_terrors.xml. Download this. And that is it. That is it. That is it. Right, once we've done that, if we go to your desktop, so that's my dedicated desktop. Right, we've got all the files here ready. Right, so what we need to do is, first of all, this Dayz offline.raf file. We double click on that, and this is where, if you use BandyZip, you can follow along and do exactly what I do. If you're using another zip program, just extract it, unzip it, the way that you need to do with that program. But for me, I can just double click it and I can just click extract, and I'm just going to choose my desktop. And over on the left here, if we just close this, over on the left here, it's extracted the mission file. So we'll put it underneath, but it's extracted it into the folder. Right, once we got that, we can delete the RAR file. We do not need that. And I'll delete things as I go along. So as I've dealt with the actual file, I'll delete them. Right, now if we open up this file, we've got the mission files in here. Let me just drag these more over to the right, and then we got this there. So now this is the Dayz offline Valning mission folder. So we've just opened up this one that we've extracted. Right, now we've got this area flags.map. We can literally click on this and drag it over into that and replace the destination. We've got CFG event spawns. Click on this and drag over, replace the thing. You can see where we're going with this, right? Area flags, XML, click and drag over, replace the destination. Oh, that wasn't even there anyway, so just click on that one. Right, zombie territories, we'll do that in a minute. The zombie territory ones do last, because if we go into the Valning 2.0 files, double click on this, right? You don't need to really extract anything if you just open it up. At least with BandyZip, it lets me do this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the CFG player spawn points, drag it over, replace the destination. Then if we go into the CE folder, territory types, open that up, we've got territories. If we, on the left one, in the Dayz offline.valning mission folder, go to the EMV folder, go inside that, you can see we've got some territories. And you can see, so if these were last modified on the 31st of the 3rd, 2020. These were last modified in this file, the 16th of the 11th. So you can see they're a little bit newer. Right. But basically, on the Valning 2.0 server files, is we select all of them and drag them over and replace the destinations. Like so, that should all be done. Why is the date not changed? Two seconds. I think I've copied them the wrong way around. Right, because they were 2 seconds. Let me just re-download this file again. I think I've copied it the wrong way around, because you can see the date there is the 16th of the 11th. Oh no, I think that was right. I think that was actually right. That was right. That's the newer one. So now we've got the updated version. Sorry, I got confused there. They are the newer ones, because the other one was like something for the third, right? Okay, so drag them over there and replace the destinations. Right, we can close out the Valning 2.0 server files and we can delete that. Right, then the zombie territory, when we're inside there, click on this, drag it over, replace the destination. Oh, this one's actually quite new as well. You look, this one's 2023. So replace the zombie destination over there. We've now got all the updated files. We can close out of that. So now we've got the mission folder here with all the updated files. Now what we need to do is we need to put this over to your server. Now, depending on how you do this, I copy paste because I'm working from my desktop to a dedicated desktop. If you're working on the same desktop, you can probably just click and drag or use an FTP program, whatever way you need to copy and replace a file. But for me, I'm just going to right click and I'm going to copy. I'm just going to quickly go to my dedicated desktop and we'll show you what to do with the next step. Okay, so I'm now on my dedicated desktop and I'm in my main server root of the server. So this is all my Valning mission files, and as I said, I've already got Valning up. I've already done this. But if we go into MP missions, you can see I've already got Dayz offline.valning. But this is where, by default, you won't have that there. You'll just have Chernarus and you'll have Enoch. But you would right click and you would paste in the Dayz offline.valning mission folder that you just copied. If you use an FTP program, or you just simply drag in and drag in and drop in, this is where you need to put this mission folder. Once you've done that, if we go into it, what we want to do is in your init.c file, we want to do, and I've opened this up with Notepad++, and my background's a little bit different. So if this looks background that looks different to you, don't worry about it. The actual file's the same. We want to scroll down and we want, where did I see it? There. Right, so for me, line 40 and 41, we've got get CE API, export proxy data, blah, 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 and get CE API, export cluster. These two forward lines that's in front of it, delete them. We are going to need to put them back in a second, but for now, delete them. Save the file. Right, then you can close out of that. What we want to do is, if we just go back a minute, go to the Dayz offline.valning mission folder, right click on it. If you can remember the name, you can remember the name, but if not, you can just click rename, press Ctrl+C to copy it, copy that name, go back to your main root, your mission file, and in the server dz.cfg, you're going to need to paste that into the mission template. I'll quickly load it up so I can show you what I mean, but just give me a second because I've obviously got passwords in there, which I don't want to share. So let me just quickly load it up and remove the passwords, and then we'll show you what you need to do. Okay, so we've opened up the server dz.cfg. Bear in mind, yours also may be called config.cfg, depending on how you're running your server. But you'll have a file that looks like this, with all your acceleration time, light, max players and everything. Okay, but in the class, in this bit here with mission class Dayz, you got a template. This by default will say something like, is it offline.Chernarus plus, something across them lines. All you need to do is you select that Dayz offline.Chernarus plus, select it all, and then you would press Ctrl+V. you just press Control V for that mission you copied, and it will change it to dayzoffline.valning. So do make sure the template is dayzoffline.valning, and then you would save the file. Now, I'm not going to save it because I just got rid of the passwords. I need to put them back in. So what I can just quickly do is click close and don't save. Right, but do make sure you put that Dayz offline.valning and you save it. Right, once that's done, we can then go back to this, go back to your MP mission, and I think that is everything. Yep. And because you've copied this mission folder over, all these files will be all the new stuff. So, for example, was there a file here from 2023? Oh, yeah, it was in DB. And it was in... No, it wasn't. It was in EMV and the zombie territory. So you can see I already got, you know, the latest mission files. But yeah. Right, what you now need to do is you need to start your server. So let me quickly start the server. And for me, it's this one I got offline. So if we click start, let this boot up. What we're going to need to do is we're going to need to go to your storage folder. So go to your MP mission again. This is why I was here. Go to your mission folder and go to your storage folder. Now we're looking for an export folder to be generated. So depending on where your server's from, your server may take 5 minutes to load up. It may just take a minute. It may just take a few seconds. But let your server load up and then you should see an export folder be generated. There we go, export folder. And inside there, you should see 2 files. We should see, there we go, there's the 2. So map group cluster, map group pos. Make sure you let your server fully boot up and these files fully generate. I've seen people before now, especially with this map group pos file, they've copied this and you updated this file with a default one and found out there's nothing spawning, because if we open these up, you should have stuff in here. When they've copied it, there's been nothing. They've copied it without it loading up properly, and it's been a blank file. So do make sure you let these load up properly and you get stuff in here. And the same with the cluster, just make sure there's stuff in there, like so. Right, what we want to do is we want to copy both of these. Go back to dayzoffline.valning. And in this route, you can see we've already got some default ones. Mapgrouppos.xml, mapgroupcluster.xml. You would right click and you would paste. Now I've already done it. You can see 31st to the 3rd, 23, 31st to the 3rd, 23. That's today's date because I've done it today. I've already done it. But make sure you right click and you paste and you update. Sorry about that. I have to silently burp. Yeah, make sure you update these files there. Once you've done that, once you've updated them, so again, right click and just go to paste. Once you've done that, go back to your storage folder, go back to export. So these are the files that you've just pasted. Just go back one, sorry. You can now delete the export folder. Go back to Dayz offline Valning and go back to your init.c file. Actually, I think I've already got this open in Notepad, so let's just do it from here. I've got open in Notepad. Now we generated them files and update them. We can put them to forward lines back in, and then we would save. Right. Once that's saved, once some lines are back in and saved, it close it down. And then we can just shut down the server. We'll shut down the server and then we'll just restart it. Yeah, mum. Right, just give me a second while this does and I'll be right back. Okay, so the server stopped, and all you now need to do is just start the server. And that's it. That is it. Let's close out of that. That now is it. The server's booting and you should be good to go. Like I said, do make sure you put the key in your keys folder. You actually install the mod like you would do any other mod. But join your server and make sure it's fine. You should be good. If you're having any issues, if there's something not quite working, Or, you know, like I said, with that V3S file, I didn't go over that. If you're not quite sure what to do with that, come and join my Discord. Link is on YouTube. And come and speak to me and I'll help you out. But anyway, until next time, guys, have fun and peace out and enjoy your Valning map. Oh, also, this Valning mission folder, delete it. Because we now put it onto our server, we don't need it. But yeah, that's it. Until next time, guys, have fun and peace out.